Hi and good afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you are. It is the end of the weekend here in New Zealand, and what a weekend I have had. What is the date? 2nd. So we're just short of 7 months post-op, and it's been a monster weekend of triumphs. I can't quite believe it. Now, I just want to give you a few contexts. So there's 2 places I've been today that I'll talk about in a moment. One of them is the estuary track. Now, I walked the estuary track for years, and I used to walk it right the way around with a group of clients for a while. And then when I started having trouble with my knee replacement knee, I would walk around it with walking poles, and then I walked around it with crutches. And then when I was having trouble with my left foot before I lost the leg, I was walking along it with crutches. I wasn't able to get very far, and the distance I got was shorter and shorter, and in the end I couldn't make it 200 meters to the first bird hide with crutches with 2 feet. So with that context in mind, I just want to share this with you. Keeping perspective on things is something that I find hard because I like to move my own goalposts. But today I thought I'd come down to the estuary track. I have got the crutches. I was going to bring the walking poles, but my walking poles need new rubber stoppers, and there's none anywhere in New Zealand. I've called all over the place. So we used the crutches. That's all right. The last time I came down here was a wee while ago. I had a few weeks of pissed offness and never bothered, and we've had a lot of crappy weather, and I have made it all the way to the turnaround point, 1.4 kilometers, and it took me 24 minutes 55 seconds, and I did not stop anywhere, not even to stand for a second. Literally stopped to look at my watch at one point, and that is it. So I'm feeling pretty damn chuffed because I walked past the first seat, the second seat, and the third seat. So even though I walked in the park yesterday and it felt really hard, crutches and a wee bit slower and just a bit of perseverance, and yeah, it just goes to show how much progress I've made, because I couldn't have got to the 200-meter marker in the first seat to begin with when I first started. Whether I can get back without any stops is another question, but if I stop once, then that's all right, because the last time I walked this, I stopped 2, maybe 3 times. So I'm happy, really happy. And the second place that I have been, say hi to the cat, is Forest Hill. Now, Forest Hill was the place that I would go and walk up when I wasn't able to run anymore. The Southland is pretty flat, and Forest Hill is short but quite steep, and I could yump up it with walking poles at quite a pace, and it would give me the same tough feeling as I used to have when I was running. So that was my substitution for not being able to run, would be to walk up Forest Hill. I was always able to walk up the short end of Forest Hill right up until my knee replacement. I was going up with poles and then crutches, and I was actually up Forest Hill the day they called me to tell me what date the knee replacement op would be. Now, I have not been able to walk up that hill for a long time because of the left foot, and I was not able to go very far at all. So it's been a really, really long time since I've been to Forest Hill, but one of my goals was to ride a bike, and the other one is to be able to walk up Forest Hill. Now, I do not know why this popped into my mind today, but I woke up this morning and thought, I wonder, because yesterday's walk had gone quite well, and I know that there's a short Forest Hill's got several intervals on it, and there's a wetter cave which is like 10 minutes up the hill, and then there's a junction which is 15 to 20 minutes up the hill, and then there's a loop that takes you to the top after that, and it used to take me about 35 to 40 minutes to get to the top. So I thought, right, I'll go over there and I will just aim to get to the wetter cave, and if that 10-minute walk takes me 20 to 25, that's okay, because as long as I'm back down again by 50 odd minutes, I know that is about my maximum for a walk at the moment in time wise. So here is how it went at Forest Hill. Today I've decided to tackle a first. I am at Forest Hill. Now there is no way I can make it to the top of Forest Hill, but I might be able to make it up to the Wetter Cave, which used to be about a 10-minute walk. So it should be doable, even if it takes me twice as long to get there and back. I am prepared. Road shoes and off-road feet for my crutches. So wish me luck. Honestly can't remember the last time I came here. It's been so long, years potentially. So long that they've actually built a loo since I was last here. And there's more people in this car park than I've ever seen. I used to be the only one that would come here. It's taken me 11 minutes to get here. The sign said 10, so I can't complain with that. The sign says another 10 to the next junction, which is the junction with the start of the loop track. Now I'm not going any further than that, but this 10, although you can see I'm pretty hot, this 10 actually on the leg was not too bad. It's just this cardio fitness, so I might carry on to the next one. I've made it to the clearing. This is what deconditioning looks like when you have been injured for years and then you have an amputation and you're laid up for months and then you try and get it all back. The road ends for me here. I'm going to go back down. It's another maybe 10-15 minutes up from here. But what I'm surprised about is how far I got the first attempt and how near it is possibly to me getting to the top. 7 months post-amputation. What I've discovered on the way up is the slopes are all right up to a certain degree, and then when I get to the max flexion of the ankle, max dorsiflexion, then the hill starts to become a problem again, and I have to imagine I'm on my tiptoes and I have to use my knee more. Let's see how the downhill goes. Bloody happy with that. I didn't expect to be able to get that far at all. Fills me with lots of hope that although I don't regularly test out my limits, all the physio and all the hard work is actually paying off, and slowly I'm getting better. But yes, it's a very big mountain, so I need to stop looking at the end goal and start looking at the baby steps. It's a piece of advice I give everyone. I need to listen to my own advice. So, I have exceeded all my expectations this weekend. Now, this doesn't often happen because my expectations are quite high, but I'm feeling pretty chuffed with both of those things. I had to really concentrate whilst I was walking off-road with this hydraulic ankle. I wanted to see how it would perform. Now, I talked about going up the hill in the video, but down the hill, that was an entirely different experience. Now, up the hill was hard on my lungs. And when the hill got too steep, I had to then change what I was doing because it reached the limits of the ankle flexion. But going down the hill, I was never going to reach that limit because the hill wasn't that steep. But what I did find is I had to change how I was walking going down a hill. So if you imagine walking down a hill, you would never go down a hill with your knees straight. You would have them slightly bent so that all the muscles in your legs are taking the load and securing you as you go down the hill. Well, if I walk like that with a prosthetic, what happens is my leg, there's not much leg below the knee, pushes into the front of the socket because you're trying to do the same thing as you would do if you had a foot still. So it ended up hurting the front of my leg at the front of the socket really quite quickly. So I had to really think about it. Now, this is the first time that it's actually been useful that the hydraulics go at the speed they do, because what I ended up having to do is walk like normal with my right leg and step with knee locked out with my left leg. So I would step with a straight leg and wait for the foot to reach the bottom. And so it was the hydraulic ankle that was doing the work for me. It worked quite well in the end once I'd figured it out, but it was different, let's say. So that was my weekend. Anything is possible if you set your mind to it. Now, when I came back, I told a couple of people where I'd just been. They were like, seriously? Are you kidding? No, I'm not kidding. And I can't wait to see Joel, the physio's face when I tell him on Tuesday.